What's good, everybody? It's Mr. Composition, the MC that writes fiction, back at it with another video. And with everything that's going on, there's been some thoughts. And there was a community post by Signified B Sides that I think encapsulates the kind of like two sides of what's going on as far as with this hip hop being a competitive sport. Now, the question I want to pose is hip hop a competitive sport, or is it deeper than rap in regards to these two different opinions? Now, if you're new to the channel, make sure to leave a like, subscribe, notification bells on so you don't miss when I drop a new video. We're on the road to 5K. So let me first show what Chuck D had posted. Rap and hip hop didn't form from diss battle culture. It formed from party dance culture. The battle culture was a mutation alongside moving the crowd. An MC never wanted you to be a wallflower. They wanted movement or the DJ would shut you off. Now, this is one thing that I'll say, because he's talking about as far as like rap and hip hop didn't form from this battle culture, formed from party dance culture. The battle culture was a mutation alongside moving the crowd. Would I call the battle culture a mutation? No, I would call it an extension because we're talking about as far as the back and forth. We're just talking about just through words, just sharpening each other's skills, different things like that. I think that was more of what Signified B Sides was referring to, but I will let you know why I disagree as far as with what Signified B Side says, because of basically how Chuck D kind of explains this. So Harlem, Bronx, Brooklyn wanted a better time because NYC was delivering bullish. The battle this thing was a side evolution tumor. Started benign, then ignorance made it malignant in the 90s. Revisionist history on culture too often is measured by scattered exceptions as opposed to the massive documented rule. Now, this is kind of like what it's along some of the mindset that I'm thinking as far as with this Kendrick Lamar, Drake, everything like that. My thing is this the only way to get hip hop excited? You know what I mean? And this is where I think there is a confusion between the competitive sports aspect and beef. I think we're confusing the two because here's the thing. We created a whole subsection for the battling of each other. It's battle rap. Like literally, we have that. What he says at the end, scattered exceptions as opposed to the massive documented rule. Me personally, in my opinion, let me know what y'all think as far as in the comments with all this stuff. I think that we as a culture has sensationalized certain aspects of the culture, and because they were sensationalized, we think right here, these exceptions are now the massive rule. So the exception being that there was heavy hitters that dissed each other. We put that under the guise of it being competitive. Here's the thing. You can be competitive without the toxicity. And I think that's a lot of what Chuck D was referring to, and it's fine for everyone to have their difference in opinion. We're going to get to what Signified had said and why I disagree as far as with his viewpoint. Not necessarily a disagreement. I think what's going on is we're all on the same channel, but we're in different time blocks. You know what I mean? So somebody's at 12 p.m. and someone else is at 7 p.m. and then someone else is at 3 a.m. And it doesn't matter what channel you're on, there's going to be different stuff at that particular, on those different time frames. So this is why I think what's going on is this, what he said, it's the exceptions that are being blended as far as with the rule. I bring up as far as the difference between being a competitive sport, on aspects of it being competitive, and beef, because they're two different things. The toxic side that we're seeing is this beef aspect, and this I think is what Chuck D is talking about, as far as like, this aspect we really don't need. But a lot of people are viewing the beef as the competitive sport aspect, and that's where it is wrong. That's where the question that I raised at the beginning, is it a competitive sport or is it deeper than rap? Because though in other genres there may be a spat or something like that, hip hop is the only one where it's just all like it is a quote unquote a part of it. And like Chuck D said, and like I personally believe, I don't think that it is so much a part of it that we're confusing it for, oh, well, that's just a part of hip hop, because I don't think it is. Now, with as far as what Signified B Side says, he said, respectively, like, with all due respect, I disagree with Chuck D here. It's true that hip hop came from disco, but to say that the competition was a mutation or tumor is needlessly derisive. And see, this is where I think the confusion is. It's not the competition aspect. Like that's not what I took from Chuck D. It's not the competition aspect. It is the beef aspect. It is the diss aspect that is the mutation or tumor. So if you put that if you put that into that context, I don't think necessarily that there would be a disagreement there. And that's why I feel like where there's a lot within this, same thing as far as what DJ Envy was saying on the Breakfast Club. Is like, this is a gladiator, da da da. What people are confusing, because people also like to say, well, it's good for hip hop, it's good for hip hop. How is dissing and beefing good for hip hop? That's what we're seeing currently. This is not the competitive aspect. The competitive aspect is getting on tracks and rapping your ass off and doing that particular stuff. It is not the beef aspect of things. So he goes on to say that the competitive element came from Black and brown youth meeting up in parks and presenting their best rhymes to each other to see who was the best. Yes, exactly. But that is not dissing. That is not beef. You know what I mean? Like, that is different. Yes, that is the competitive. That's literally what I was just talking about. That is the competitive aspect. Now, he says that this was likely the first new thing that youth culture brought to hip hop as it escaped the disco clubs. To call it a tumor, again, I think that Signified B Sides is looking at this the wrong way. What Chuck D was talking about was in regards to, in my opinion, I believe he was talking about the beef and diss aspect. Like outside of like the battle. We, like I said, we literally created that subsection, battle rap. Like we have that. We have those people that do that. Now he goes on to say, further, the competitive verbal joust is a tradition not just in hip hop, but in Africa and really any literary tradition. So again, he's the verbal joust. Again, there is a difference in these particular things. Let me finish this and then I'll go ahead and like end it all out. But there have always been tricksters, rogues, bards, groots, etc. Even the escalation in violence is not new. The founding fathers wrote their disses in the papers and then met at secret locations to literally shoot the fair one. Oscar Wilde grew too popular as a writer in the 1800s, and people spread rumors about his sexuality that landed him in prison. There's nothing new or explicitly unique about what's happening in hip hop right now. I'm really disappointed in this take from a legend and an elder. And see, that's where I feel like there's this particular disconnection what Chuck D's talking about, and I believe what Signified B Sides interpreted as, that's where the miscommunication thing is going. Even in Signified's B Sides own thing, he is proving Chuck D right. That's what's kind of confusing, because it's just all like he said right here, the competitive element came from black and brown youths meeting up at the park and presenting their best rhymes to each other to see who was the best. What we're experiencing in hip hop right now, in different aspects of hip hop, whether it be Jay-Z and Nas, whether it have been the whole Nicki Minaj and Megan Thee Stallion, all these other random, beefs that go on. There's a difference between the beef and the competitive aspect. This is the competitive aspect. What we're currently seeing, and what I believe Chuck D was talking about in regards to this, is the beef, and as far as the diss aspect. Let me know if let me know what y'all think in the comment section, and let's get the dialogue going, because I feel like if we can start getting an understanding, then we can start, moving and getting hip hop into something that isn't so toxic, but yeah, let's get the conversation going. Let me know in the comments, like, subscribe, notification bells on, and depending on how things go in the comments, then I might make a part 2 of this, and Signify B-Sides, Signify B-Sides, if you happen to see this and different things like that, I would definitely be happy to talk to you. We can have a talk about this. I think that would be super, super dope. I'm a hip hop artist myself, so yeah, I think that would be a unique perspective. But anyways, it's Mr. Composition MC that writes fiction. Like, subscribe, notification bells on so you don't miss when I drop a new video. And make sure to check out the description for my music, my comics, books, and more. All right, y'all. Peace.